happy to be with you. I'm Dr. Jessica Herzog, and I currently spend my time seeing both adults and children in a functional medicine clinic. I am dual board certified in integrative holistic medicine as well as pediatrics. You can consider functional medicine to be an investigative form of holistic medicine. Over the last few years, I have counseled thousands about diet, stress reduction, immune balance, brain health, and teased out the findings of their lab work to put together a holistic plan that includes using essential oils. Several ideas have emerged that I want to share with you. I've also had the joy of using essential oils in my home and with my own family for several years. This firsthand experience and confidence, along with a growing number of research studies, makes me so excited to bring essential oils to my practice to help others, just as these amazing oils have helped to change my health and my life. We're going to talk about back to school. The back to school time represents a lot of change, a change of seasons, going into the fall, a change of a learning environment where our kids will change subjects, change teachers, and change grades. With all of these fall-related changes in mind, I want to talk about two important related topics, healthy immunity and healthy brain. Healthy immunity. As we want to understand the immune system a bit better, I'm going to give you a short lesson. I feel that we must elevate our knowledge if we plan to help ourselves, our families, and our friends. If my short, basic science seems like too much for you, just hang in there. We'll be over it in a few minutes. And we'll get to the nuts and bolts. The immune system is a collection of cells and glands, and 75% of them are concentrated in and around the gut or digestive system. The immune system is responsible for inflammation, which is the end result of the immune system being activated. This activation can come from a trauma, like a cut or a sprained ankle, or from an infection or an allergy. Our immune systems need to be awake and alert enough to recognize these challenges or triggers and to be able to create that needed inflammatory response. But it needs to be regulated and balanced, and to be able to turn off when the threat or injury is no longer present. There are many different types of cells in the immune system, each with very specific roles to play. The broad categories of the immune system are the innate and adaptive systems. The innate system needs no education or training. It is our first line of defense, but is a non-specific response. The adaptive immune system adapts to the changing needs and threats and can create a more specific immune response. The adaptive system can be further categorized into cellular and humoral immunity, or sometimes called our Th1 and Th2 responses. These stand for T helper cell 1 and T helper cell 2. This looks like a teeter-totter or seesaw, and a balanced immune system will have an even or horizontally balanced teeter-totter. When a viral threat comes into the system, your body should use the appropriate Th1 side and those related cells and chemical messengers. Those are called cytokines. They will become active until the viral threat is gone. Conversely, when the body experiences an allergy, the Th2 side will become activated until the allergy goes away, and the teeter-totter again should become balanced. The problem arises when the body cannot resolve the problem, or the immune system, for a variety of reasons, cannot restore this teeter-totter balance. Being aware of these possible immune balances allows us to understand the symptoms of immune balance and to understand why it's important to create more balance in our systems. When any kind of inflammation is unresolved, we call that chronic inflammation, which is the root cause of all chronic disease. Our goal is to reduce excessive inflammation and maintain a healthy immune regulation, where the teeter-totter can swing towards Th1 or Th2 and then resolve the issues and come back into balance. There are a few examples of excessive inflammation and poor regulation that affects the pediatric brain. In these cases, the immune system is triggered by something. We think probably most of those things are pathogens or seasonal threats. The child can have an acute onset of behavioral issues, mood issues, focus issues, or an inability to be able to adapt to a new environment. These disorders are thought to be neuroinflammatory conditions. There are many things that we can do to help the immune system find this essential balance. Let's look at a few key nutrients and essential oils that can help support a balanced immune system. First, let's talk about vitamin D. If you've heard me speak before, you've probably heard a bit about vitamin D. It is also known as the sunshine vitamin. There are many research articles that show that the best immune regulation occurs when our blood level is in the 80 to 90 range. The only way to know your level is to get a blood test. There are some home finger prick kits available that you can send in by mail. One key misunderstanding is that maintenance dosing is needed. Once you reach goal levels, you need to keep them there with daily dosing. If you are close to the equator, your supplemental needs will be less, but probably still exist on a daily basis. Depending upon the needs of your immune system, your health, your weight, your age, the daily amount that you need will vary. If in doubt, please check with a healthcare provider who shares your knowledge and goals about this key nutrient. Every day of the year, even in the summer, I diagnose several adults and children with frank vitamin D deficiency and many others with near deficient levels. Every day I see drastic changes in their reported health as the deficiency is corrected. The science behind vitamin D and its links to prevention of cancer, heart disease, and bone disease is not new. Don't allow a level of 35 to keep you from feeling well. The second nutrient that provides immune support and helps to reduce inflammation is zinc. Zinc is a mineral that most of us are suspected to be low in. There are some foods rich in zinc, including pumpkin seeds. You might also consider getting your levels checked. Zinc is helpful for rebuilding the skin, including the intestinal lining, which is a type of skin. If you have digestive issues or rashes, you will have a higher zinc need and probably poor zinc absorption. Several times a week, I diagnose zinc deficiency. So try to eat more zinc-rich foods and consider supplementing. Third is vitamin A. It is a very important support of our Th1 side of our immune system as well as our gut health. Make sure to eat plenty of vitamin A-rich vegetables such as carrots and sweet potatoes. Fourth, iodine. Please do a survey of your sources of iodine. Seaweed and the LLV, or A to Z chewable, are great sources. The halides, which are chloride, fluoride, and bromide, will compete for iodine. If you are exposed to these, your iodine requirements may be higher. Iodine is important to thyroid and brain health. In fact, some people believe that repleting your iodine might allow you to regain 1 or 2 IQ points. Last, vitamin C, which is a nutrient that our human bodies do not produce. Therefore, we must consume it. Vitamin C-rich foods are kiwi and citrus fruits. When you are dealing with a seasonal threat, your immune system has a tremendously high need for vitamin C. So make sure you're taking plenty of these in every day. There are also several essential oils that support the immune system. I must start with On Guard. The philosophy of combining these oils has been around for thousands of years, and there is wisdom in that track record. There are so many ways to incorporate its use into your daily routine and the routines of your family. One good choice would be to diffuse it in the school or learning setting where the seasonal threats are most prevalent. If that option is not available, or you need more support, then using On Guard diluted topically 2 to 3 times a day is another good option. The Touch series is a convenient way to always have it ready to apply. If the kids' shoes are already on their feet, then consider applying along the spine. The age, size, health, and preference of the child or student should be taken into consideration when choosing the route of the essential oil application. Diffusing On Guard at night is also a fantastic option. I like the diffuser option because it allows essential oils to have more exposure to the nasal passages where the seasonal threats typically enter the body. Many schools do remind students to wash their hands regularly. Consider sending in a homemade On Guard hand cleanser for them to use regularly. For older children, internal use can be a good option if they prefer to swallow capsules or need more intensive immune support. One thing to keep in mind is the very tiny lipophilic chemistry of essential oils. That means that they can get into our cells more easily and provide for a unique support of the immune system. Another characteristic of essential oils is that synergy exists between them. Synergy means that there is a group effort among the constituents of a single oil, as well as a potential larger group effort when combining two or more oils trying to help one goal. This is one reason why I love to use blends. For example, you can add oregano, thyme, lemon, or frankincense to On Guard for a more intensive immune needs. Since DDR Prime contains frankincense and thyme, this should also be a consideration in these cases. Outside of seasonal threats, there are several cases where chronic immune balance might be part of the problem. I suspect that in these cases, more prolonged exposure to essential oils will be of more benefit to the immune system. As we come back around to thinking about the brain and studying and learning, let's talk a little bit about brain health. I think we can all agree that the brain is important as our master computer, and any imbalance, whether it be emotional or chemical or a toxic stress, can create impressive and even scary symptoms. So what can we do to maintain the optimal health of the brain? First, avoid sugar. Yes, that's right, we probably should avoid all regular sugar. Regular sugar, even the organic varieties, are some of the most inflammatory substances on Earth. Natural sugar from fruits should be eaten throughout the day, and some honey and maple syrup are okay as well. The brain loves a steady blood glucose level for fuel, and frequent eating of fruits and vegetables can help this. Added sugar should be the rare treat that it was intended to be. Less than 100 years ago, it was a rarity in our diets. It's devastating to look at the ingredients of the typical foods that are advertised to kids in America. See if you can start to substitute fruits for some of these other choices. Eating fruits can also help the body to maintain enough fuel for the brain. Sometimes tantrums or behavioral issues can be due to low blood sugar, which is relatively common among children. Frequent snacking on healthy foods provides the brain with needed fuel. Most schools and learning environments make arrangements for snack time. You might consider asking for accommodations if your school does not currently allow snack time for older children, or maybe even 2 snack times for the younger ones. Of course, staying hydrated is an important part, since the blood is what carries nutrients to the brain. The brain and nervous system are made of good fats. Making sure you have some DHA in your diets is important. Foods like salmon or algae, or the supplemented forms like IQ Mega or Z Omega, or the vegan option, are good choices for our brain health. Being active is also important for brain health. Exercise has been shown to help with circulation. Circulation to the brain can bring more oxygen to the brain. There is nothing that substitutes for adequate oxygenation of the brain. We should be mindful of all of our toxins as well, since there is a high potential for them to affect the brain in a negative way. All food dyes, artificial colors and flavors, chemical preservatives, pesticides used on our foods or around our homes, as well as heavy metals, including mercury and aluminum, are some of the most well-documented neurotoxins. Avoidance is the best strategy, but in our toxic world, you will be exposed to some toxins. Just a few things that can support our detox systems are healthy eating. A diet rich in fruits and vegetables, good hydration, and fiber to help our regularity are things that help us to remove these toxins. Make it a goal to get a rainbow color of fruits and vegetables every day. Not only will you get the antioxidants, minerals, vitamins from these foods that will support your immune system, but you will also be providing an example of healthy eating that will have lifelong implications for the rest of your family. In fact, I was just talking to a gentleman this week who told me his regimen of eating all the colors every day. In fact, he tries to eat all the colors of the fruits and vegetables at every meal. He told me of the fabulous fresh teas that he makes with ginger and cinnamon, and he drinks them throughout the day, even if he travels. He appeared more than 10 years younger than his actual age of 73. He was not taking any medications and has never had a health issue. I was quick to remind him that he was absolutely ingesting a lot of essential oils in that regimen. Let's talk a little bit more about heavy metals. What we do know is that they disrupt the immune system and brain health. They can accumulate in the brain over time, and they can be stubborn and difficult to rid from the body. Being aware of heavy metal sources and exposures is a good way to start knowing how to avoid them. The Zendocrine oil and herbal complex can be natural ways to support your body's detox pathways. Another toxin that sometimes goes forgotten or overlooked is emotional toxins. Our littlest family members are some of the best readers of our emotions or the general emotional atmosphere. You might assume that they do know some of your worries and stresses. We can help them to process changes in their environment, losses, or those stresses by talking about them and using aromatherapy. Essential oils, especially the emotional aromatherapy set, can help you discuss these emotions with your children and help them to work through them. Through the sense of smell, we activate the olfactory bulb, which is our smell nerves, and from there activate part of our brain called the limbic system, which houses our emotional center, and then goes on to activate the rest of our brain. It is often said that when we sleep, we end up processing some of the day's events. I have often wondered about the beneficial effects of diffusing calming oils overnight. Perhaps they will help us to have a more balanced ability to process the day's events, whether they be big or small. By using essential oils in your daily routine for everyday emotional and mood support, it will become more natural to reach for them in the moment of an acute emotional need, and you will feel more confident that they can help support you during that time. Try discussing ahead of time which oil your child may choose for the morning jitters about starting a new school year. Having an emotional support plan in place can provide extra peace of mind for both of you. If your brain or emotional health is not optimal, it is also possible that behavior, focus, or mood concerns will arise. There are several essential oils that can be helpful due to their calming properties. I love the blends Balance and Serenity, and the single oils myrrh, vetiver, and frankincense. We know that the oils that contain sesquiterpenes, like frankincense, can support the brain. Other oils that are high in sesquiterpenes include myrrh, ginger, sandalwood, and vetiver. The chemistry of sesquiterpenes is very special because it can cross the blood-brain barrier. This is a physical barrier meant to help the body protect the brain from toxins and infections. Nature surely knew what it was doing in this case. The body is able to tell the special nature of this chemistry apart from others and let it into a very special place, the brain. All application routes can help the nervous system, but when it is appropriate or available to do so, I like to use them as close to the nervous system as possible. So on the neck, along the spine, or internally are good choices, but all routes can be supportive. Lastly, help with focus is a common and critical need for most students. Whether it's the young child who has the energy for two, or the middle-aged child who is bored, or the teen with college-level studies, or just you and I wanting to be better focused as we learn or teach, there are several things that we can do. First, find a comfortable space, preferably somewhere where you can maintain a good posture. Second, have a small healthy snack. Third, schedule in times to take breaks where you can get up, stretch, and walk around. Fourth, try using a few essential oils to support the brain to have better focus. Intune is a great option. In fact, I used it to prepare this video. I like to apply it to the neck, which also has benefit because it's near the nose for an aromatic as well as topical effect. Choosing a citrus oil to diffuse in the space can help you have a better sense of alertness. You may also try combining a citrus oil with rosemary or peppermint. For some of us, and in some situations, we might have a need to layer a few different oils and to reapply them throughout the day for the best and most sustained support of the mind, learning, healthy mood, and focus. Have fun as you explore how the mind can be supported by these ideas. In closing, I just want to remind you of the power of a single drop of oil. Continue to use them in your families and with your friends to change the world. Thanks.